bro. I've been high, I've been low. I done pimped, been hoe. I done prayed and been prayed on. I fell off.
Welcome. Who thought we'd be here?
Episode 42.
42. I wanted to share something with you. When I was driving across the bridge on my way over here, I was listening to what came on my shuffled songs was Gecko by Oliver Heldens.
Oh, really?
And I was thinking about how, like, there was probably a point in time when you and I were on our way to, like, a music festival, high on some type of drug or whatever, looking for the next high, listening to that same song. And then now here I am, like, on my way to go over there and podcast and tell you about my mental health or whatever it is, get better. And that was just a moment I wanted to make sure I shared with you and didn't forget about. So I wanted to start there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I was like, this is crazy.
It's wild how things have changed. You know?
Yeah.
We're both just more self-aware people now. So yeah, episode 42 of Who Thought We'd Be Here. Very different look today. It's going to look phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
When you get done editing this.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, even like we've got the new camera, we've got a different setup. The microphones is nice for sure. That's been a huge feature. But you and I kind of also mentioned as I was setting up, is like, it's okay that like, it doesn't look exactly the way I'm going to learn how to use this camera and get better at this. And it doesn't have to be like we should be excited about, like, or at least me, myself, like, this is a new toy versus it being like, you need to be Christopher Nolan on the podcast.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's definitely going to look extremely different.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Like I said, like we were out here recording on the deck and our episodes never looked like this.
Yeah. It's also going to be weird when this episode comes out, because we talked about that tree won't have any leaves on it when this episode comes out. And we're outside.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like 70 degrees out. It's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, this episode could come out and it could be 20 degrees out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and that's a thing that we brought into fruition, that we were like, we want to be ahead. We want episodes coming out ahead of us, you know?
Yeah, being on top of it. It's been really, really positive lately.
Yeah.
I think we're getting somewhere with it. We got another affiliate, Find the Good.
Yes,
rocking a hat.
Yes.
Got the shirt on.
Absolutely, make sure
it's not just Stevenson Ranch today. Yeah, Find the Good. You can get
yeah, they have a really great message.
Yeah, we just like the idea behind the brand, you know. It was something that we could align with. Definitely felt aligned with the podcast, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how can you not get behind like Find the Good?
Yeah,
you know. And I think that, what do they have? 10% goes to some type of mental health organization,
and you can
which
sign
is
up.
Obviously fucking awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah,
shout out to them.
There are no affiliate. Do we have a code yet, or are we just kind of sharing that?
No, it's posted. It's posted on our stickers.
Yeah,
and our link tree.
We can also talk about which all of them are on the phones right now.
Yeah,
but
or inside, because I didn't want the window.
Yeah, exactly. But look out for our stickers if you live near us, and if you're a fan of the podcast and you don't live near us or you don't know us, reach out and we'll send you one.
Yeah,
because that's a way we can give back. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Anybody who supports it, even if it's something small, we'd like to give back.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah,
it felt like when we got like our logo done. You know.
Yeah, and the next batch will be a little bit bigger. You know what was perfect though is they are phone size right now.
Yeah,
we have stickers that we can put on the back of the phone, so like you always have it with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like we could just dive right in, because we've been talking about this all morning and kind of a lot the last couple of days, just through text messages, because I've been working, you've been doing stuff, you've been editing. You've been editing like crazy. Every day I'm just getting another clip.
It feels good. I'm getting better at it too. Faster.
Yeah. They look good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to get more creative, take more risks. Like I feel that sense every time that like I make a clip and like I send it to you, or like when it goes up and I'm like, oh, what are people going to think of it? And it's just like, dude, there's like fucking 100 of these things and there's going to be thousands of them eventually. So like, who cares? Just try something new. Maybe one will hit, maybe one won't. Whatever.
And it doesn't matter. We're not in anybody's algorithm but our own anyway. Shout out to Meta.
Yeah, if you're in our algorithm on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is, please leave a comment. Let us know that we're in there.
Yeah.
Because also your comment will help other people see our stuff.
Yeah, and maybe it'll help them. You never know.
Share this episode or any of the episodes or just a clip or a content that you feel like might help somebody. Like,
we got into promo. We were about to get into the episode, but we got into some more promo.
That's all right. Yeah. But like, we know that the message that we're putting out there is
a positive one.
Is good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you feel like this helped you or you feel like it could help somebody in your life, please. Which is probably a good way for us to talk about how we've been exchanging like podcasts and just
books, the books
material, books, in general that have like really been fueling that. Like, I feel like we can always get like right to the brainstorming, and like finding that flow for us has been so good because like we're putting little bits and pieces of that into our daily life, and then we show up here today and it's like that translates very easily.
Yeah, so you gave me The War of Art, Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Steven Pressfield. And I love this book, dude. It came at a perfect timing for me where I kind of just, like I was telling you, I felt maybe that I had been stagnant. You know, I talked about how your new look on a sober life has, like, you're a couple months in now, how that made me reflect on where I was when I got sober and just like how good it feels when you finally are a couple months in and you realize you're leading the charge. Like you're waking up every day and you're doing something positive for yourself and you're making sure that you're not putting poison into your body and you're feeling better and you're waking up the next day and it's easier to do it again, you know, because you're building that up. And I think this book I felt stagnant, and it might not have been that I was stagnant, but I wasn't noticing resistance. And this book definitely opened up to me what resistance can look like and feel like, and made me aware of it. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. My goal has not been to give you something that I feel like you normally read. I have taken it on myself as a challenge to give you books that I think are as outside your comfort zone as possible to help you like expand that. Because you always give me stuff that I probably would never think to read or wouldn't go down that road. And I think that that's what's good about it. It's like, you're not trying to find something that like you would pick off the shelf. Yeah. It's something that I think that would help you that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think of, or that, because you talked about how it's like, you realize that you have resistance in all sorts of areas of your life that aren't just like sitting down and writing your novel or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's been big. And I think it also helped kick open the door for me a little bit, because when I read this book in probably 2 days, to be honest. It's a quick read. It's a
concise,
easy. Yeah. But it's got a lot of valid points in it, and a lot of them hit home for me on what resistance was, because I would go throughout my day and I'd do my routine in the morning, and then I'd kind of get just into the day and I wouldn't notice it, and I'd just let myself go. And it was kind of just being unconscious throughout the day. I'd start the day off very conscious of myself and what's going on around me. And then throughout the course of the day, like a lot of people, I think you just get into the flow of the day and it becomes harder. And I noticed that a lot of the things that I thought were hard or that I didn't really want to do, or like I could do them, but is it going to do anything for me today? A lot of that was resistance of this is the way I'm supposed to be going. And the way that I feel, the reason I'm feeling this right now is because it's resistance telling me not to do it, because my ego wants things to say exactly the same as they are right now. And I think because you gave me this book, it has really kickstarted that. Like I said, I've been waking up and my journaling has gotten a little bit longer. My affirmations have changed in the last couple of days. I'm writing and I'm doing it in silence. And then I'm meditating for a full 20 minutes instead of meditating for 10 minutes, and writing while I meditate for the first session. And then taking the time when I go for my walk and I'm running, I'm not listening to music anymore. I'm trying to input more positive thinking and things that'll help me along the line into my head. And you've we've been going back and forth with the podcast too. I think the one that really set it off was the jelly roll one, because it hit home with
phenomenal episode. Episode.
If you haven't listened to Jay Shetty, On Purpose is a great podcast, but his episode with Jelly Roll, especially because he's so popular right now, I think opened up a different side of it, and it was definitely an advancement for conversations like this. You know what I mean? People of that caliber, and talking about the things that he talked about. And me and you both do a lot of the self-sabotage stuff, which then because of this, was like, it's also resistance. I'm self-sabotaging because I'm being resistant of what I know is good for me.
Well, a huge thing that resonated with me, because I've been like trying to go back through like your past self and forgive yourself, and all, like, you can't do that without kind of like moving forward and establishing that like this is who I am now. And it really connected with me that somebody who had been in his position that was like, and I'm not trying to compare anything, but like he committed a bunch of crimes and had felonies and was in and out of prison and did some messed up things that like I was able to sit back and be like, if he can forgive himself, so can I. And that, I think, is a beautiful thing. And I think that's the whole point of his message, which is that like, if I can forgive myself for the way that I treated people or things that I did when I was young or when I was just trying to survive or whatever. And it's not being like making excuses for that. It's resonating with the fact that I can't be the person I want to be unless I forgive myself for maybe not being so nice to people when I was younger or whatever it is, or for making poor decisions, or for even just not being where you want to be. And that really resonated with me because there was a lot of stuff that tied into family and just being like making the most of who you are right now versus who you were.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about that all the time. Who thought we'd be here?
Yeah.
Like it all comes back around. But that's somebody who like I really like never thought I would resonate with his music or anything like that. But like imagine him coming on our podcast.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Incredible. Like, that's wild stuff. And but just like being right now, being like, okay, like I think that content that we consume is making us better people, and it's making us better at doing this.
Yeah, and like to tie it into, so when I was thinking about how you're newer into this and you're seeing the bandwidth open up for you, I felt like mine, and like I was like kind of like, why has mine subsided? And like, why are new thoughts not coming in? And it was, you get to that point where you've made these steps forward, and Rich Roll said it on his podcast, and it really brought it into my eyes. It's just like, you give things up, and then there's more to give up. This is the journey of spirituality, and to be a better person is you keep letting go of things until like you're just aware all the time. You just become awareness. And I think that's the stuff that we've been passing around to each other lately, listening to Jay Shetty and the Rich Roll episodes that I've listened to, and to Joe Dispenza, just like that stuff has been super key for me lately. And it's definitely got me thinking more clearly and focused during the day. It's been a huge impact. And sometimes, and like, I wanted to be like, why did you ever get away from this? But it's just the way it had to be. And there's no point in self-sabotaging because it took me so long to get here. Like it had to happen that way. And now I'm here. And I think this book, another one, Abundance by Deepak Chopra, is
Book of Secrets by Deepak Chopra, what I was about to just bring up.
Yeah.
This is the book that you shared with me. One that I probably, even based off the title, wouldn't necessarily pick up. But that has just, we talk about divine timing all the time. And then you start to see things in here that are like, this is what I need to hear right now. And you start pulling things out and being able to like practically apply things to your life. Like I was reading a chapter about time today and how like if you're rushing and you're all over the place, that means that you're not aligned with the universe because you're trying to be ahead of it. You're trying to jump the gun, or you're living in the past and you're thinking that those are the only outcomes that can come. And it just was all about tying back into that present moment and not being like, okay, if I'm in traffic right now, I'm supposed to be in traffic. Or if I'm 15 minutes late to come record, I'm supposed to be 15 minutes late. And that's not saying that you should just be willy-nilly. But it's like there were things that were out of my control that I wanted to be on this line, and then the universe was like, no, Mm-hmm.
And now, if I was here a half an hour earlier, we're having a totally different conversation than we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you notice yourself being able to apply these lessons. And I think that that's a growth in awareness, because I feel like oftentimes I would read books or I would try to take in knowledge, and I would have a hard time with, I'll put that into practice when I'm a better person, versus being like, now I might not be able to take in everything and apply everything to my life, but if I can just pull like one little detail each day in small moments, and kind of like I think that like today my thing was from this book, like, stop rushing. The universe has your back, dude. I even wrote, you've got me into the affirmations a lot. And one of my affirmations today was like, the present moment is my friend. You know, the timing of the universe is perfect. And then the last one was, I am in no rush to be anywhere.
Yeah. Did you see the ones that I left for you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I had it open because while I was doing the clip, because it has the timestamps.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice that, but I was like, yeah,
yep.
that helps. Yeah. And it's, for me now, a way to, you can kind of access what you're struggling with, and you can also kind of access the things that you've been doing really well by doing that. And just kind of like reaffirm to yourself that like you are a kind of like you're a ball of clay that can be molded each day, versus thinking that you are this rigid person who maybe has made some bad choices or didn't look out for themselves or other people. But that doesn't mean that today you can't get a little better with that and spread that love.
Yeah, exactly. And I think being this aware the last couple of days, because I'm very new to this practice and I'm going to try my hardest to keep it going. There's still tons of work to do. But like the big thing with the affirmations for me is like, you can just come back to them at any point in the day. The Dr. Joe Dispenza episode with Jay Shetty that just came out, he said, if I change my life will change. And that was a big one for me, because it no longer becomes...
I put that up on my bulletin board, the one that you wrote.
Did you?
Because I was like, now I don't have to write this one.
Yeah, no, but I have it, like, I wrote it on the spine of this. I just like...
Awesome.
There's something about that quote to me that changes the way you think about progress. You know what I mean? It's not like my life's going to get better and then I'll be better. It's, I'm doing this work to be better right now so that my life can become the life it's supposed to be, because I'm doing that work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to change because some amazing thing happens to me, or like I have to make small changes that I can control. And I think that that's when you start to notice. He talks about like coincidences all the time, and you start to notice like being aligned with stuff. And when I listened to that shortly after you did, and you told me, and the one that hit me hard that I wrote on an index card, put it right up on my thing, was if you believe in possibility, you believe in yourself.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could come up with a better quote that kind of like represents what this whole podcast of what we're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Right?
This episode might just be quotes back and forth from Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he had the other one that really affirmed with me too.
Man, I really fucked with his.
He said, he's talking, I notice myself reacting quite a bit. That's something I've become very aware of in the last couple of days, is the instinct to react and being like, wait, why are you about to react to this? Like, what is making you want to react to this? And sometimes I can get lost in that spiral and self-sabotage, because I'm like, damn, I didn't even notice myself reacting. It just happened. And now I'm like beating myself up because I caught it an hour afterwards because I said something hurtful that I can't take back. And it's made me be like, he said something and it was along the lines of, it's not, you can't control that you're going to react, but you can control how long you're going to react for. And I've been writing that down. That's on the bolt. That's on my mirror now too, with the other one.
Yeah.
Cause it's something that's big for me. Cause I'm not always going to be able to control my reaction. It's just going to happen. I'm a human and it's part of life, but I can control, like, we're not about to sit and sulk in this and beat a dead horse and get madder and madder, frustrated with myself for a long period of time. I'm going to notice that it happened and just be like, okay,
we'll work on this. Take a mental note next time it comes up. We're going to be like, why are you reacting to this? What about this situation makes you want to react?
And I think that being able to, like we mentioned earlier, going back and being able to forgive your old self allows you to not be attached to that hour ago where maybe like you said something that you didn't mean or that, and like I said, when we talk about this stuff, it doesn't mean that we're like saying, go act however you want and then just say sorry afterwards. But it's like, you can't kind of create the awareness in the moment of being like, I'm about to lose my shit without like inching closer to that. So it's like, maybe over time, it took you a couple days to realize that like, oh, you know what? I said something that was messed up to whoever. But then as you get closer, now it's like, oh, it's an hour later and I want to solve this now. You kind of can't get to that present moment without creating that awareness, right?
Yeah. He said something in the beginning of this book that I'm reading right now. Can you repeat what we were just talking about for me for a second?
How long are you going to react for versus controlling your reaction immediately?
Well, maybe I'll come back to it. I can't seem to find it right now.
We can shift gears real quick and I can give you the book that. So this ties into what I said earlier, which was that I'm like, I want to give you stuff. This, funny enough, still has, you can use that bookmark. Pokemon card.
Who is it? What is it?
It's Detective Pikachu.
Oh.
But giving you things that are outside your comfort zone that I think, especially with this would tie especially into what we're doing with the podcast now, trying to grow, embracing yourself, and it is Crushing It by Gary Vee.
Oh shit, a Gary Vee book?
What's that?
A Gary Vee book.
Oh, yeah.
I've never read one.
And it's like it's even got all the TikTok wasn't a thing when this came out.
Damn.
But yeah, quotes from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh my guy.
Jessica Alba.
You could have stopped
John
with The
Mayer.
Rock. Oh, and John Mayer?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff in here that I think is about your self-brand and things like that. But it's also like very specific stuff. I read this a while ago in terms of helping, like, what are you supposed to put out there? How do we grow ourselves on social media? How do you build a brand of like what this is? And I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, you're like, we're not doing enough on social media with the podcast, so read this book for me there, pal. No, I got you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, and I was like...
It'll be important for me, though, too, because like we've talked about in the last couple of days, I've kind of really figured out what I want to do, so...
Yeah, so it doesn't just necessarily have to go into the podcast, like it's going to be something that... like I said, I think that we're both kind of past that point of looking for the thing that you want to get out of the piece of material versus letting it find you.
Yeah.
And just paying attention to that moment where it resonates with you. And I think it just opens you up to different feelings about the stuff that you're consuming and not trying to force that. Like, a lot of times I felt that, which is like, we talk about divine timing, but I also think that sometimes, like, if I'm struggling with something or if I'm in a place of, I want to deal with this right now, I force trying to consume something that'll help me deal with that. But then there's also like, there could be a podcast episode or a book that is a completely different subject matter, but that might connect the dots for you, and just being open to what the universe finds you at versus like, oh, I'm really depressed right now. Let me find a podcast that has depression in the title.
Yeah, let me get some more depression. I need an extra dose of depression.
There was a quote in this book that I wanted to come back to today. That if I can find it.
I'm normally good at marking things. I don't know why I didn't mark what I wanted to show you.
That's all right. But there was something about...
You know what, though? We could always talk about it on the next episode.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah. Book club. This was kind of a book swap episode. Book
Yeah.
swap and a little update on what we're up to.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, I think in the beginning I was so caught up in us doing our own thing and it being like this unique thing that nobody had ever done before. But it's a podcast. There's fucking thousands of them. And it's like, it's so good for us to draw from these things from people who have been down those roads and are learning about awareness too.
Yeah. Well, we're becoming more aware.
Yeah. And if you have any recommendations for us, leave them in the comments or send us a message. That would be awesome.
Make us aware of you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, episode 42, the Mariano Rivera edition.
Or the Jackie Robinson.
All that glitters and gold. I had money, been broke. I've been high, been low. I done picked it, been whole. I done prayed and been prayed on. I fell off and I stayed on.